Hello, everybody. I'm going to come on for an hour today. Might have taken everybody by surprise. There we go. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Pearlo. I'm coming on for an hour today. I only have an hour today to come on. Oh, let's see if my chat's working. My chat working? Can you guys see me here? Shows that nobody's here. Who's here? Participants. Just me? Just wait. There we go. Hey, Joe. How you doing, buddy? I don't know why. For some reason, it wasn't working there for a second. So it did well yesterday, buddy. I'm going to be on for an hour today. I did really well yesterday. The only thing, Boston and Reg messed me up. Hey, Mark Brown, how you doing? Boston and Reg messed me up a little bit. And I waited right to the end. When they put Dawes in New Jersey, I was on Jersey until they did that. I was on Jersey. I was going to take Jersey puck line. Then they put in Dawes, and I was like, because I don't like Pittsburgh's energy ever since Malkin came back. I seriously think Malkin is a problem in that room right now. I don't know what's happened with that dude, but I seriously think it is. Every time he comes back, they suck. You passed a 5-teamer? Nice. Did I put a parlay in? Did I put a parlay in the room yesterday? I don't think I had a parlay in the room yesterday. No. I had no people in my parlay room yesterday, so I didn't bother putting it in. But I got one now. So I have a parlay in there now. But I did take the Bruins and Reg missed me up a little bit, but I also had a 2-teamer with Nashville that saved me on that. You had Sharks ML. I put a live in on the Sharks. I waited till live to see how the Islanders were playing. I had the over there too. I liked the over there a lot. The Pittsburgh game, the over saved me. And of course, we all nailed the over on the Columbus game. And whoever was in here that asked for Columbus plus 2.5, I hope I didn't change their mind. Because when I found out Johansson was in, I put Columbus plus 2.5 in there. Because he is terrible. He's an awful goaltender. But I also had, they were giving out Columbus plus 2.5 team total yesterday. I was all over that. Hit that big. And that was before Johansson got in there, so it was awesome. Nailed that hard. I had Nashville, but that was tight. I figured it might be. I liked the under, but I didn't put it in. Big on the Rangers-Washington under, and I had the Rangers too. Do you know why I had the Rangers more than anything? After I thought about it, after we did this, I took the Rangers because Ovechkin is Russian. That was you, Joe. You stayed on it? You stayed on it, Joe? I hope so. Because I ended up taking it too. I should pay you. I guess I owe you some. I ended up taking it. When I thought about it afterwards, I was like, Johansson in? Seriously? Like, Columbus is 8-2 right now? What do you do in the Carolina game tonight now? I think Carolina probably figures out Columbus tonight, but I'm fading it. I'm not putting that juice on. I'm not putting that juice on that game. No way. No way. Are you going to go back at her again? You can't get it. You're going to go plus 1.5. You're not getting enough to go 2.5 on that. You're going to go 1.5 against with. Is it? It's. It looked like it was going to be Merzlikins in. Is that possible? I thought Merzlikins was out. No, it's JF Berube. Okay, JF Berube is 3-0, but he hasn't really played well. I don't know. This one's good. Columbus is on a back-to-back. They've been on the road for a bit, haven't they? I know they're hot right now. 3 games in 4 nights here. Toronto at home, fly to Florida, cross over to Carolina, and then back home to Pittsburgh. I just think Carolina's got the game to stop Columbus today. I do. They're they're not going to be confounded. Florida is still learning how to play that type of game that can confound Columbus. That's why I said about them not. I'm not totally on them in the playoffs this year because I still think they have to grow as a team that way. But Carolina can. The bad part is D'Angelo is out. I think this could be a sneaky under. Oh, they haven't played the Leafs yet. Good for the Leafs because I wouldn't want to be playing them. But now they've had 2 losses in a row. Wasn't that the first time this year they've had 2 losses in a row? I was off of them on the side yesterday. I was off. I didn't take Florida I didn't take Florida I didn't take plus 1 at 2.5. I took your plus 2.5, and I got it. I had a little on the Wild. They didn't pull it through. Toronto pulled it through last night. Mrazek stopped pucks. I didn't really even watch that game. So you must have that in a parlay because the juice is ridiculous on that. You're putting that in a parlay? I think the Canes should win that game. But I mean, hey, Hockey News Reports, how you doing? I haven't even looked at the games last night. Oh yeah. I don't come on all the time, but I'm only coming on for an hour today too. I might have to go get a real job here soon too, so I didn't watch that Toronto game. I actually was. Did I go to the gym last night? Yeah, I went to the gym last night. So I didn't watch the Toronto game, but I was surprised. I had the Wild team total over at 2.5. They couldn't even get that. I was surprised with Mrazek in net. I don't get enough people. I got other stuff I'm doing now. I find that more people come on when I do it less, and I have more things to talk about and stuff like that. So yeah, I got several things I'm doing. He's gone now again. He went there and then they kicked him out. He's probably like totally out of shape. I don't know what he was thinking. Did you hear that? Did you hear that already? Sean Avery, without actually appearing in a single game, Avery has been released from his ECHL contract by the Solar Bears. So he was too out of shape. He thought he could be a play in the ECHL. He probably did it on a bet. I bet you he did it on a bet. He probably did it on a bet. Because somebody else said, who was the other? There was another player that said they were going to go too. It was that player. I can't remember who it was. Wasn't it in the thing? I bet you he did it on a bet. Well, no, he hasn't played in forever. It was kind of disrespectful to ECHL players to think that at 41 years old and you haven't played in how long, that you're going to be good enough to play in the ECHL. But he didn't make it already. It was quick. Barnaby. Was it Barnaby? Yeah, he did it on a bet. If it was Barnaby, for sure. They did it on a bet. They probably had a bet that he said, they were probably drinking one night, and Avery made a bet that, I bet you I could still play in the ECHL today. Da, 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 da. Barnaby's like, I'll bet you whatever amount of money that you can't. And he went and did it, and he was wrong, and Barnaby was right. I'll bet you. And for sure, that's what happened. And they're just not saying it. Especially with Barnaby and Avery. For sure, no doubt about it. I wish Barnaby was still on Sirius Radio now. What's he doing? I really liked him on Sirius Radio. I don't mind O'Brien, but I really liked him on Sirius Radio. Anyways, the Minnesota game. Matthews Potts is 35th. Jeez, unbelievable. From Liljegren and Dermott. Goudreau scores. Matthews gets 32. Did Marner get over? How many shots did Marner get? He only got 2 shots. I didn't play the over on Marner. The shot over on Marner was like every day was for sure 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. And I didn't play it last night. And sure enough, they didn't get it. So Mrazek stopped 29 of 30. The Wild actually outshot them and still lost. Oh yeah, I didn't see that coming. I don't think Price is going to retire. Oh, who's that? Daryl Turner. Sorry. Let me get over here and speak to Mr. Daryl Turner. Daryl Turner in the house. Everybody hype up Daryl Turner. I don't know. They could. I mean, I'll tell you what I love about the Columbus Blue Jackets is they're playing the type of game I love to watch. And what I also love about the Columbus Blue Jackets is Laine is being proven right. But I don't know. Laine is a different dude, man. He thinks outside of the box. And he's an offensive player. He believes in offense. And he believes the game is too focused on defense. And he thinks that, and you know what? It looks like Columbus in general is buying into it. They're just going to be like, you know what? Why can't we be a team like that? Why can't we do it? Let's try. Let's just try to be a team that wins games 6-4, like the old Edmonton Oiler days, which apparently is not going to work in the playoffs. But are they going to test it and see what happens? I'd love to see it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I would love to see it. And yeah, I wouldn't mind if they took out Boston. Why not? Cheer for the underdog guys like that. I love that stuff. Yeah, I like the Devils too. I have the Devils. I don't know about Vegas. Arizona's playing everybody tight right now, and I'm just not sure with Brossoit and net. But they could be hitting their stride with Eichel now. And if they are, see, that's an overlook game too, right? Because they got Colorado the next game. And who am I to speak to the great Joe Flyers, who just nailed Columbus plus 2.5 yesterday. But I'm a little iffy on that because they're playing Colorado on the back-to-back. I do like the under, though. Because if Vegas gets up early, they're going to rest their big guys, I would imagine. They're going to rest up for Colorado. So I do like the under. However, I'm pretty sure that Arizona is trending to the over like crazy right now. Devils. I like Anaheim tonight, Joe. I like Anaheim. I like that spot for Anaheim. Jake Muzzin said he might retire. I never heard that. That would be devastating for the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, Vancouver. Vancouver crushed Calgary. They finally. You know what? Calgary didn't even play that bad of a game. Some defensive breakdowns. That score really didn't show. Really wasn't indicative of what Calgary was like. They were actually pretty good. They weren't too bad. It was a weird game. Everything was just going in for Vancouver. They're riding a high right now, sort of like Columbus. The thing about Columbus is I don't think they can maintain that shooting percentage. They got a very high shooting percentage right now. And I'm pretty sure it's not sustainable. So, but everything's going in for them right now. So, but I would like to see it. It's still a tough haul to. It's going to be tough for them to take out Boston, though. I think. No, Vancouver's not going to. I don't think Vancouver's going to make the playoffs. The thing is they're making it interesting for them to decide what they're going to do with guys like JT Miller and stuff. It appears to me that they're probably going to keep Miller this year and then trade him in the offseason, but they got to trade him in the summer, I would imagine. Or one of them, they're going to trade Besser instead. They'll probably figure that out when they find out what Besser wants, what Miller wants, like truly wants in the summer. But I don't think they're going to wait till next trade line to do that. I think they're going to do it now. I like they're going to do it in the summer. They wouldn't be able to. If they sign Besser, and Besser is a restricted free agent, he needs a qualifying offer, which I believe is close to $7 million. The quality is about 6.5, and he's 25. So wow, yeah, man. Like, you want to do a bridge until he's a free agent, or do you want to sign him up now? Sign him up now. I imagine it's going to cost 7.5 for 8. And Besser may just say, no, I'll gamble on myself. I want a bridge. Tough spot for Besser. Tough spot for them for Besser to decide what to do. JT Miller is going to want, probably if he keeps up a point a game pace, he's going to want $8 million at least in 2 years. And then you've got a defense to fill out because that defense is terrible. Yeah, Brock Besser. We got Bo Horvat to sign, and I said JT Miller. Pedersen in 3 years. And you got bad contracts with Ekman Larson. Tyler Myers, so a difficult chore ahead of them. He registered 6 hits. Yeah. Wilson came off. Wilson was injured there for a while. He might not be totally right. They want a first for John Klingberg. They'll probably get it. But the thing is why? Like they're gonna go with Harley in the playoffs. Like you trade Klingberg without getting anybody back to play this year. You're pretty much saying we're out. I know he wants out. He obviously must be saying he wants out. Like he doesn't want to wait till summer or anything. And that, for me, that's like a kind of a red flag for picking him up. Because that's a pretty... I'd really want to know the reason why he wants out before he becomes a free agent at the end of the year. Like he wants out of Dallas that bad all of a sudden. Apparently he feels disrespected or something. I don't know. Now, he may have a point, I don't know. But it certainly raises a red flag. Is this guy's just a whiny bitch or what? If Kopp is a free agent, he's going to get overpaid. Somebody's going to pay big for Kopp. At the deadline, I suppose the Leafs could add somebody like Kopp, I guess, right? But if Winnipeg is going to trade Kopp, there'll be a lineup of people, man. Rangers, just like almost any team, Washington Capitals, every single team will be lining up for that guy. He's going to cost a first plus. I know it for sure. Dallas, Edmonton. What's his? What's he? He's not even making that much this year. I know he has to be signed. But even as a rental, he's the kind of guy that you can fit anywhere. He seems to have that kind of attitude that everybody wants. He's injured right now, though. It's only day to day. He can do everything. He's like a utility guy. He can play center. He can play wing. He's going to command a lot, man. He's only making 3.6. So he fits under a lot of caps, or Winnipeg retains just for this year or whatever. They'll pull a first plus for him, I'm sure. You're willing to give up a first plus for Kopp? Jets +2. Yeah, I kind of do like that. I'm not on the Avs tonight. It's a terrible spot for the Avs. Terrible. First game off a long road trip. Their schedule has been absolutely brutal. After this, their schedule is terrible right now. You got Boston, Detroit, come back home to play Winnipeg, and then go to Vegas. And that could be a serious overlook game. Yeah, I don't mind that +2 there. I don't mind that +2 at all. I think they're putting Francouz in, and Hollebuck is a beast on the road. So I don't mind that at all. Like, the Avalanche could outplay them and they could still keep it tight because of Hellebuyck. And Francois hasn't been knocking it out of the park so far this year. So yeah, I do like that. Cop to the Boston Bruins, yeah, for sure. I'd want a first and I don't know, something. Vasilina or Vekalina would be great. I don't know if they'd go over that. I don't think they'd go that far. Then they are not getting Cop. Toronto's not getting Cop if they're not trading their first. Simple as that. Gaudreau got a first from Tampa Bay. Cop is a better player than Gaudreau. It's not only going to be a first, it's going to be a first plus. Boston would have to give up a first. Like I said, there's going to be so many teams in on Cop. I would think, especially if they think they could re-sign him at that moment. Where is he from? Where is Cop from? He's from Michigan. Heck, I wouldn't even doubt Detroit would be in it. That's the thing. Cop is young enough that teams like Columbus would be in, LA would be in, Anaheim would be in. Like there's going to be, who knows what Winnipeg could get so much for him, and I would hate to lose him. If he doesn't want to be there, I guess but I'd be trying to re-sign the guy. Give him $5 million. Give him $5 million. It's hard to get guys in. I don't know. Josh Archibald, is he coming back now? I didn't even know that. Ottawa, yeah, like there's so many teams that would be in on him. They could get a very surprising package back for Cop. Especially if he's willing to re-sign. Like even teams out of it, Philadelphia, he's at that age where you could do like teams doing a quick rebuild. Montreal, there are if they let him talk to the agent and give him $5 million a year or whatever contract. Oh, did you? Yeah, Montreal Canadiens. Yeah, like there's just about every team could have use for Cop. I would say, just about every single team out there. If he's available, they're going to get more than people think for Cop because there's just going to be so many people wanting him. It's weird. There'll be a lot of people wanting him, but on the same note, I think there's a lot of teams that don't think that he puts them completely over the top. I actually think they would get more value going the way you're pointing out here is if they traded him and allowed teams like Buffalo, Montreal, Detroit, he's from Michigan, to talk to his agent and work out a contract. And then say, I want a first plus for Cop. Or I don't know if Detroit. See, I don't know if those teams would give up their first though. That's the thing. The Oilers are done if they don't get Fleury at the deadline, not just a goalie. They'll make the playoffs if they get like a Gorgiev or something like that, but they're not going anywhere in the playoffs. Fleury is the only one. Other than that, try to get a goaltender next year and do it again. Might as well fly with what you got. It's the only one. They're not getting Husso. People saying, oh, why would St. Louis give up Husso? No way. No way. They'll trade Binnington before they trade Husso. They could get Binnington. Chicago. What about, I can see, yeah, I mean, the list goes on, but there'll be a long list for Cop. I was actually working on some stuff for Forsberg, and I really had a hard time finding a place for him. And I think it's a bargaining ploy. I think Nashville's going to sign him. I don't think they're going to trade him away. I was just going to do a video on it today. And as I was doing it, I'm like, I can't see Nashville trading Forsberg. They're going to sign him. I'm sure they are. I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but I don't know if it's the right thing to do, to sign Forsberg, but if somehow they think they can become a contender with that group, I don't know how they can become a contender, honestly. They're a good team, but they're not a great team, and they're not going to become a great team until they don't really have a true number one. Their defense is solid, but not great. Their depth is okay, and they're not swimming in prospects, so I don't know. On the other note, though, trading them at this point, when I looked at it, I don't think the value is there. There's not too many teams looking for wingers. And those that are looking for wingers, like maybe Boston, but they're going to look for a center. It's not the most important thing they're looking for. When I looked at every team, like every playoff team, possibly the Dallas Stars, but are you going to trade him within your conference? I don't think so. Like, especially if you think they're going to re-sign him. I don't think Anaheim's going to do something like that. Anaheim might do something like that if they know they can re-sign him. And like, let's say Anaheim, they go Forsberg for Adam Henrique, which isn't really that great. And then they'd have to give up their first this year, which would be a middle round first, because they're actually doing them a favor by taking Adam Henrique. Or Ricard Raquel if they don't plan on re-signing them this year. In which case, or something like that. And then their first and a prospect, probably Jacob Pearlo. Otherwise, like, if it's not a package like that, I'm not doing it. I don't know if Anaheim would want to give up that much. How, like, if they're going to resign, if he's going to resign there, they might, though. Yeah, Laine, like I was just talking about, Laine loves the coaching there. They're letting him go. They're not asking him to play like what Tortorella was doing for defense and all that kind of stuff like that. He's said it before. I am what I am. I'm going to be what I am. He's going to fly the zone at times. He's thinking offense all the time. And he actually wants to play on a team that's like that. And it sounds like Columbus is going to do that. I think Columbus is going to sign Laine to something like $9 or $9.5 million for a long time. I really do. Jeff Skinner has been way better than anybody expected this year. But everybody knew he had the talent, though. It's just, I think Jeff Skinner is seriously affected by what the surroundings of his environment. If things go south or things go down, he has a tendency to take on that energy himself, and he goes to crap. I think that's what it is with him. When things are going well, Skinner is good. When things are not going well, Skinner is not good. Sort of like Jeff Petrie. But it sounds like Granato has really found a way to find out how he ticks. And he's been doing a really good job at it. From what I heard, he wasn't hurt. He used to do that in Carolina all the time. He'd have a 30-plus season and then like a crappy year. Then he'd have a half a good year and then a bad. Like he was so inconsistent in Carolina. And he wanted $9 million a year. Like he was telling them, I want $9 million a year. The amount of money he got is what he said he wanted when he was in Carolina. And Carolina's like, we're not paying you that much. You know, you have to be a consistent 40-goal scorer. There's no way. There's no way we're paying you that much. And he was on the trade block all the time, but everybody knew he wanted $9 million a year. And he wasn't a $9 million player, so they couldn't trade him to anybody. And then finally, Donnan came in and said, you know what? Well, because they were trying to get some value out of him too, right? Then Donnan came in and said, trade him to whoever will take him for whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Like, for future considerations. We're not paying him $9 million a year. He's overvaluing himself. And so Buffalo gave him like virtually nothing. Yeah, they signed him to virtually nothing. And then, who was whatever coaching the Swedish dude, who I thought was actually going to be really good. He didn't hit the right chords with Skinner. And Skinner needs a guy that's going to hit the right chords with him because he seems to be so fragile as far as psyche and stuff is concerned. You got to hit just the right nerve with Skinner, or I think maybe he beats himself up too much or something. I don't know. I'm not in the room, so. Finding a way for him to keep his confidence seems to be a struggle, though. And, I mean, then you got a guy who's demanding $9 million a year. He sounds like he's immature. Hey, Rickett, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in, man. Came in for just an hour today. I got to do some more work on my picks before I head over to pick up the lady. I got a good one, and this is compliments of Joe Flyers. The Jets +2 today over Colorado. I don't know what the juice on that is because my app doesn't show that. It's about 170, somewhere around there. I like that. It's a really bad spot for Colorado. I'm going to throw a bit on that. Hockey news reports. I don't know. I'm going to go to start looking at some career stuff. I'm hoping I can find something I can do at home so I can still do this kind of stuff. But I got to do something. You want to help out, go sub up to bpalpicks.com. Then it won't have to. The more people with the Frolic over there, the better. More people, the better. No, they don't. The Leafs don't want Max Domi. That's some made-up stuff because Max Domi and his dad used to play there or whatever. I doubt very much they want Max Domi. Maybe, who knows? It's the Leafs. Who knows what they'll do? It's the Leafs. They could do anything, you know. They do the. You never know what the Leafs are going to do. No, we were just talking about that. I just looked at it. You know what? I think it's a contract. I think it's a contract play. I think they're going to sign him. I think they're going to sign him. It's just a contract thing. It was one of two things. Nashville had just got lost 4 straight, and I think Poyle put that out there too, to say, you know what, I might as well trade Forrest because you guys obviously are not a contender. So I'm going to put it out there. And if you don't want to lose Forrest, then you better show me that you're a contender, because it doesn't make sense for me to sign Philip Forsberg up to $9 million a year, which is what about ballpark where he's going to get for 8 years. If you're not a contender now, because once he does it, how are they going to become a contender? They're heading for the bubble. They're heading for being a bubble team forever. Nah, who's going to... I mean, maybe. Habs trading Anderson. All I know is I would not pick Anderson up at $5 million a year. Not a chance. That's all I know about that. That contract's too long. It's too much for a guy who's terrible defensively. He's a bull in a china shop in the offensive zone, and that's wonderful, and he's got a killer shot, and that's great. But his overall game is not good enough to be a $5 million a year. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He's a 4th liner with a good shot. With a really good shot. And speed. He's fast. But his hockey IQ is piss poor. So I wouldn't be doing it. Maybe there's somebody out there that wants to have a guy that creates chaos in the offensive zone but has no idea what he creates just as much chaos in the defensive zone as he does in the offensive zone. So which even still there's value to that. Even still there is value to that, but at $5.5 million, no, not doing that at $5 million or $5.5. What's he making? Montreal's not gonna retain. And what I heard is they're going out to the free agent market next year. Like they're trading young players, and then they're going to go out to the free agent market right away. They're trading for youth and going out to the free agent market right away. So they got all those 2nd round picks and stuff. Whatever picks they get, they're going to pick, and they're going to keep on trying to be winners now. That's basically what they're going to do. He's making 5.5. My gosh. So he had, he's on a 24 goal pace though, right? On a bad team. So he's so enticing that way. He's got a killer shot. And he's got the speed to get there. So I don't know. I don't think I'm paying that much for myself. I might kick myself because he's a guy that could score 30 or 35 sometime, but he's also a guy that can just fall apart too. I don't like it, especially what I don't know what they'd be offering for it. I have a feeling there's a team out there that'll offer more than I'd be willing to. So I don't think I'd probably end up picking him up. Yeah, they're shopping. Apparently, they're shopping that goaltender Forsberg. If there's one goaltender that I would possibly give a shot to if I was Edmonton, it's Forsberg. He's been in the league for quite a while. Lately in Ottawa, he's been fantastic. He's one of those guys that could be just on the cusp of being a number one. That would be the one guy. If you're going to go cheap and bring a guy in, he won't cost you a first. He doesn't cost much right now. Yeah, he's only $900,000. He's a free agent, but somebody's going to pay for Forsberg next year. He's put up some pretty good numbers this year, and he's looked pretty good considering the team he's got in front of him. The only thing with Holland, like every time Edmonton has played him, he's sucked. So I don't know if they'll be able to decipher the fact that he actually is a really good goaltender. I'm not sure. What do you think, Hockey News Reports? You think they can get anything for Anderson? I mean, I just looked around the league for a guy like Forsberg, and I had a tough time finding a spot for him. What the heck is... Who's going to pick up an Anderson at 5.5 for how long? Maybe, no, they're not retaining for all those years. I have a really hard time seeing. I don't know what GM would look at his analytics and go, yeah, that's worth 5.5. But there probably is one out there. There probably is one out there. Hey, Lauren, how you doing, buddy? I'm not going to be on for long today, Lauren, just so you know. They're not trading Brendan Gallagher. No way. No way they're trading Brendan Gallagher. He's the face of their franchise. There's no way. They probably should for hockey reasons, but they probably should for hockey reasons, but they won't. No, well, I mean, he's got to prove he's healthy. He's got to come back and play for a long time. Who's going to take that $10 million contract with a guy that, I don't know, he's got 2 hip surgeries now in a row? I can't see anybody taking that. I don't think so. I don't think they can find value for Josh Anderson, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I mean, he is on a pace right now to score quite a few goals. So and he does wreak havoc in the offensive zone. He would have 24 goals in 41 games right now. And he's 6'3", 227. And he does wear down the opposition. There are teams out there that would take somebody like him for those reasons. But for 5.5, I'm not sure. I have no idea what they're going to do with Dvorak. I don't know how far they want to go. From what I understand, they're going to be looking at free agents this year. So I don't think they're trading everybody away. They're going to try to get a couple draft picks. Apparently, this is what it looks like because they basically came out and said they're going to be going out and getting free agents in the summer. They came out and said it. So I don't know what. They're obviously not going on a pure rebuild. And the free agents that they could get. What? I might do it. How come it's taking so long? Okay. There we go. What free agents could they get? They're not going to get Subban. They're going to sign Giroux? They're going to... Oh, they drafted terrible, yeah. They drafted terrible over the years, no doubt about it. And yeah, it's coming back to bite them in the ass. You never know with Montreal what the hell they're going to do. Like, did you see it coming when they started all of a sudden signing all those players and go for a run with it that year that they did? And you say, well, this is a different general manager. Yeah, but it's the same ownership. So they might have proposed a challenge to Gorton to grab as many picks now and keep them, you know, they don't want like not rebuild and still get young people. That's what owners are really asking them to do. Yeah, Thomas Hertl would be a good example. They could pay huge for Hertl, but the Molsons, yeah, they could pay huge for Hertl, but it's not like they got cap space for days. They will trade away probably Petrie and stuff and make some room there. If they trade Sherratt, like they won't have Sherratt. Alexander Romanov is going to get a little bit of a raise. Kale Clegg wouldn't get much more of a raise than he already has. I don't know what they're going to give Kulak now at 28 years old. And where's Petrie? Petrie. So they let Sherratt go. They got to get defense. They got to get defense if they're going to do that. And the free agent market for defensemen, Giordano going to go to Montreal? No, it doesn't make sense. Anton Stroman, no. Let me just look at the defense. They're not going to have. They're not going to get Subban. Maybe Letang if they let him go, but I don't know what Pittsburgh's going to do. But why would you do that? He's 35 years old. Lindholm apparently is going to sign with Anaheim. DeHaan, Manson probably won't go to Montreal. You know, guys like DeHaan and Connor Murphy or something like that. I mean, well, there's nothing going to blow your mind out there. So, you can be rest assured that it won't happen. Why do you say that? Oh, like you thought they were going to do that from the beginning of the season? Yeah, I don't think they'll ever do that again. Different time. I don't see them ever doing something like that. If they ever did something like that, like Crosby wouldn't be there. I do think that people say, well, Crosby will never leave Pittsburgh. Well, I mean, if they get to a point where they're trading everybody away, much like what's happening in Chicago there, who knows? Crosby's going to reach an age where he's going to start to wonder, do I want to stick around here and just help some kids for the rest of my career until Pittsburgh's good enough to win another cup again? Or do I want to move on and get another cup? That's assuming they do it that way. I don't know what they're planning on doing in Pittsburgh as far as, rebuild is concerned. They might be able to just get away with it as long as they don't trade their first. Because they got an incredible drafting and development system there in Pittsburgh. Like they hit on draft picks at one of the highest rates in the NHL, if not the highest. On really good, because they haven't had their first, but they still hit in the second, third, fourth, like constantly hitting on guys that make it to the NHL. So they might be able to get away with it. But if it ever got to the point where they were like, we're definitely going to be rebuilding here soon, we got to tear it down. You think Crosby's going to stick around there? I don't think so. And that's when you know they would be tanking again if they ever decided to tank again. Because they got to get themselves another Crosby. You got to remember, Pittsburgh's not a huge market. Like they've done, and now it's got new ownership. Isn't it from the Bills? What an NFL team, like a huge corporate. They're corporate now, big money. So they got money backing them to do a rebuild if they wanted to. However, the question would be, this is a corporate business. Their name is on this. Would they be willing to go down that road? Oh, Boston. That's what it was. Boston, yeah. Would they be willing to go down the road of Pittsburgh sucking and losing their, big ticket item and stuff like that? It would be interesting to see what would happen in Pittsburgh if the fans would show up. If they decided to do a rebuild. They've been so spoiled there that I'm not sure it would work. You question the rebuild? I think it's more likely they rebuild with Hextall there. If Hextall would have stayed in Philadelphia, like there'd be no question right now that Giroux would be traded. And there would be no question that, like none, that's what he was doing and that was it. What do you question then? Well, you think he's a bad general manager? I'm not so sure about that. I'll get a better read on how he is as a general manager now that he's in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has a way of making general managers look pretty good. They've had an unbelievable scouting developing system there for a long time. That could make a general manager look really good. In Philadelphia, you had so many freaking people pulling the oars all different ways. And then finally, Hextall got fed up and said, I'm doing it myself. That's it. I'm not listening to anybody else. I'm only doing. That's good. Malkin is the big one, man. Malkin is the big one there. I have a feeling Malkin is out. I have a feeling Malkin's going to the KHL. I have that feeling. And I think they all know it. That's why Pittsburgh's been playing like trash the last little while. Where's Pittsburgh? There we go. $35, $9.5 million. It depends on how much he wants. Like, they're not going to trade him at the deadline, but I don't know. I don't know. What do you do with Malkin now? He's 35. He's been injured a lot. He's making $9.5 million a year. Rust, from what I understand, they're not going to sign Rust. If they sign Malkin, they don't sign Rust. And Rust is gone. Now, I don't know if Rust would do the same anywhere else, but no, Kings are not selling them. I don't know if Rust would do the same anywhere else. I have my doubts that he would be the same anywhere else. But why sign Malkin and not sign Rust? You're going to sign him to what, 3 years? He's going to be 36, 37, 38, and he's already injured half the time as it is. Yeah, he's got to take a big pay cut to stay there, I think. Like $5 million a year for the next 3 years or something like that. Yeah, everybody's going to Toronto, John. Somebody will overpay for Rust if he goes on the market. But I'm going to let him go. I'm saying it right now. Unless he's willing to take $5 million a year. And Letang, what about Letang? Like, all those guys, they've been paid well. They've been taken care of. I think he's 5. He does still put, when he's in the lineup, he still puts close to a point a game up there. But I think it's time for those players to give back and keep Rust in there if they want to keep that team together. And that's pretty much what I would basically say. These are the numbers that are going to keep Rusty here. And we need Rusty if we're going to be good. So, these are the numbers we're going to need. $5 million for Malkin, whatever for Letang. I don't know. Yeah, Letang. Chris Letang he's 34, but he's an effective 34. He's a point a game pace. Right now on the open market, Letang could probably get 8.5 for a couple of years. Somebody would give it to him. So he's got to take a big cut to stick around. Even the same money. Next year they would have how much do they have on it? Yeah, you got Malkin, Brian Rust, who's only making 3.5 now. I mean, he's got to be making 6. Ivan Rodriguez is having the best year of his career. He's probably going to make 3.5. Letang, pretty tumultuous time there. Yeah, Giordano will be traded. Giordano will be traded. I think they're going to keep him out west. I doubt he's going to want to come out east. I wouldn't even be surprised if he went back to Calgary again. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if they got a spot for him now there, though. Yeah. Yeah, if he went back to Calgary, he probably wouldn't play a lot there. I don't know. I'm sure he'd want to play wherever he goes. The Oilers, we'll take him. I'll take him all day. He could go to Colorado for depth to win a cup. Where is he? Minnesota makes some sense because they could probably re-sign him. I don't know if they think their young guys like Addison and stuff are ready yet. I got to get going here soon, guys. I think he's from Toronto, isn't he? That was the one thing. Yeah, he's from Toronto. Maybe he would go there if he was going to Toronto. I don't know what his ties in Toronto are like, though. I'm pretty sure he's from Ontario, anyways. Why did I look up Calgary? Yeah, he's from Toronto. So maybe. Okay, guys, I got to go. Yeah. That was awesome. See you Monday. Probably. Yeah, Monday for sure. I'll be on Monday for sure. I'll be on Monday for sure. So I'll talk to you then. Maybe watch out for streams on the weekend. I might be on one. Okay, bye.